Hey, I'm Dark North. In this video, I'll be talking about some tips on how to clear the new 2.4 Spiral Abyss Floor 12 with 9 stars. The current Floor 12 has a record 3 world bosses, making it a pretty good Abyss for anyone who has single target DPS characters. The Abyss Blessing right now is also very powerful, that increases normal charge and plunging attack damage by quite a lot, so try and take advantage of it if possible. The Leyline Disorder also favors normal attacks, and all enemies start with 10% resistance to everything, and hitting them with normal attack lowers it by 3% each hit, and a maximum of 30% rest shred is possible this way, but this resets every 20 seconds, so keep that in mind. This is the whole Hone Spirit mechanic. So let's start with Chamber 1 first half. The Perpetual Mechanical Array is back, but this time on Chamber 1 and on the first half, making it a bit easier than last time. Single target DPS characters work especially well here, and this current Abyss overall on the first half, so bring them out if you have them. It flies up in the air occasionally and even at the start of the fight, so try and anticipate that happening occasionally, and time your burst windows accordingly. This is all just RNG and not predictable, unfortunately, as even I have missed a lot of bursts because of it just randomly flying up in the air. This would require some retries, but fortunately that's fine because it's on the first chamber on the first side. After some time, or lowering his HP to 25%, it will spawn its minions. One of them will have a gold ring. Take it out and it will bring the array into its weakened phase. It takes more damage in this weakened phase, so take advantage of that and try to burst it down. Moving on to Chamber 1 second half, we have the small rift towns again in the first wave, as was the case in the last Abyss. They can be CC'd with Animo or by freeze or using both, and you shouldn't have too much issues taking care of them. After this wave, there are 3 more mobs: Pyro Abyss Mage, Pyro Abyss Lector, and Dendro Samachuro. Hydro is your best friend to melt through both Pyro Abyss Mage and Pyro Abyss Lector shields. Make sure to break the stones the Lector spawns, as that deals a lot of damage to his shield. One Hydra character is enough to trivialize the Pyro Lector's shield phase. In this clip, Mona can take out the Pyro shield all by herself very quickly. Barbara, who is a free character and a catalyst, can also do the exact same along with Kokomi and Xingqiu and even Tartaglia. As long as you have one Hydro character, you should honestly be fine. Next is Chamber 2 first half. We have the Primo Geo Bishop. You lose around 15 seconds before his damage phase begins, which is a pain, but you can use this time to generate ults if you don't have them. Try to put a shield on when he does his beam attack on the ground, which is the Primordial Showers, whether that's a crystallized shield or one created by a character. It will cause its attack to be reflected, and it deals a significant amount of damage to it. And you can do this multiple times during the fight, so try and take advantage of it to lower clear times. The Primo Geo Bishop has Geo resistance and resistance to the element it is made of, which in this case is Pyro. So try using another element here if possible other than Pyro if you have the option to do so. Otherwise it's just a matter of shredding the Pyro resistance with Viridescent or Zhongli Hold E, or just do more damage. Moving on to Chamber 2 second half, we have the Abyss Heralds. These guys move around quite a lot, so using freeze here is great, and you will need cryo, which breaks their hydro shields fastest anyways, so using a freeze team here will greatly improve your clear time. Chongyun is a really good 4-star option when paired with a sword or polearm in the team, as he can give them cryo infusion. Don't auto attack with him or another claymore with his cryo infusion, as that will shatter and break freeze, and most likely the heralds will move out of Chongyun's circle, whereas sword and polearm won't and will freeze them in place, so use them instead. Other cryo characters work too. For a fast clear, having 2 cryo characters with decent cryo output is enough, or if you have a Ganyu or Ayaka, they can make cryo on demand and can very easily permafreeze and delete Abyss Herald shields, so use them if you have them. Moving on to Chamber 3 first half, we have 2 Ruin Guards in the first wave and 2 Ruin Cruisers in the next wave. After you start the chamber, just stay in the center and the 2 Ruin Guards will come to you. After you take them down, the 2 Ruin Cruisers will spawn on opposite ends. In my experience, going to either side and behind one of them while putting your back against the wall was the easiest way to group both of them together consistently, as the other would just walk to you. And then you just burst them down both. There's not a lot of mechanics that we can use here, as both of them are just big HP meat shields. And the last chamber is Chamber 3 second half. We have the return of the Magu Kenki, and he's now level 100. He changes phases when you remove 25% of his HP, where he charges up and does a downward thrust that deals a lot of damage, and he changes phases. While he's in this transition, he is immune to all damage, so try and save your bursts. Once he's done with this, he will now start dashing all over the map, so try and keep him between you and the wall so you can predict where he will go. I saved Ayaka's burst in this clip, waiting for him to dash and hit the wall before using it so that I wouldn't end up missing if he suddenly moved. After dashing, he tends to stay in place for a little bit, so this is your time to use your burst and try to do as much damage to him as possible before he dashes again. A lot of his attacks can be iframed with burst animations and dashes, so try and utilize that if you're not using a shielder. And that's the 2.4 Spiral Abyss. If there are any more tips that get discovered, I would include them in the pinned comment. Also, if you have any tips or have any questions or corrections, you're free to leave them down below. If this video helped you, consider leaving a like and sub to the channel for more content like this. This is Dark North, thanks for watching, have a good one.